Hey there. Layout update, quick one. Phase 2.5 B part 3 or whatever. Athearn tank train. It's got me kind of motivated. Got blue foam. It's got me motivated. Painted some of the landscape. Got me a bit motivated as well. I'm liking the brown more and more, but it's not as light as I think it should be in parts and not as dark as it should be in parts. I added a little bit of gray in some areas, just a touch. So that goes back into the closet where it turns around and comes back on the return tracks. It's 3% grade in the closet, 2% grade on the main part of the layout that's visible. It's just a service kind of track area. It just returns trains down the back side of the layout. You come out in this tunnel. There's a spur that runs the length of the tunnel, runs from nearly the closet all the way across the wall as well for setting up long trains. There's a siding that does that. There's also a spur that runs through there from the yard. That's the one that the switcher's on. There's tracks that are angling back in there, Mikado. And though that's a long spur for setting up freight car sets as well, or storing a set. Yeah, those Athearn tank cars are nice. Glad I found them online and was able to get a full set of matching road numbers with the correct A and B, so it's all in order and kind of neat. Although, I'm sure the ones you see out on the road are pretty out of order. I mean, the ones you see out on the road are like kind of torn up, you know, graffitied and worn and weathered, and maybe not worn but weathered. Definitely not all shiny black brand new. But I'm not sure I want to weather these just yet. Yeah, it's nice. Check them out. Sorry the motion's not so smooth. My tripod's a bit cheap. It's just plastic on plastic pivots. Anyway, so the layout goes back in the closet, comes out through 4 double 24-inch T-track-ish sections. I mean, they're 14 inches deep, 24 inches wide, so they're basically T-track dimensions, but where the track goes in and out isn't exactly T-track. But eventually I'd like to make some adapters for the very ends so that it could go in a T-track display at a show or something. And then it comes out, it's got those 3 lines in there that I was mentioning. The long siding, the main line in the back, the long siding next to it, and then the spur with the switcher on it running back through there, all very long to set up. Nice long trains because they're fun to look at. And then everything's running through this old IKEA cabinet that I'm kind of using as bench work. This is all in foam core, and it's all very mock-up, and I probably will eventually make a modular set of bench work out of pine that kind of matches this once I figure out how I want it, but I like mocking things up in foam core before I commit to any creation in wood, because I tend to want to do a lot of design work on things since I went to college for design, for industrial design, mock-ups and prototyping. That's just part of what I like to do. Things nicely consisted and somewhat speed matched in GMRI. Just a really rudimentary speed matching, just to get things going. It needs to be done a little better, refined. So the yard right now can fit a lot of stuff, but it's not that great. This area in the foreground here, I'm not all that happy with. These lines with the super tight Gato 6-inch radius switches. These switches here, I don't even have them hooked up to DCC. I just run them manually because they're really tight, and only a few freight cars and the switcher can use those. Everything else won't go through it. It'll derail. I'm gonna have to try and mod those so that they have a more relaxed curvature. I'd like to get them to about 7.5 or 8 inches, and then I think all my freight cars can pretty much deal with them, and the switcher can deal with them, and I don't need them in the area of the yard for road engines. Road engines can stay away from those. Be in the freight car switching and storage area. I'd like to those eventually, with the curvature they have. I wanted them to be part of a hump yard. I have a little decoupler magnetic module right there, and these work, and I have it raised up a little bit, and it works that if I can get a car to decouple on it, this little slope makes it roll down, and this switch directs it either onto this spur or down this line where it can be gotten at from the other side by the switcher. The switcher can go all the way down to that end of that line where the boxcars are, and then transfer over to that pass-through. So anyway, but it's not quite how I want it. I mean, it's really not how I want it. I'm actually going to cut more holes in the cabinet, and this is not going to have so much harsh curvature. It's mostly going to be straight spurs because it's hard to, if not impossible, to couple up and decouple cars on a corner. Well, you can decouple on a corner, but sometimes, but coupling is difficult to impossible, so I want all the yard stuff to be fairly straight. Alright, managed to keep this under like 10 minutes or whatever. I didn't ramble too much, so I'm going to let you guys watch the tank train go up the grade and through the tunnel one more time, and then we'll bid you all adieu. And maybe ask someone if anyone wants to post, if anyone actually watches this. I'm getting surges. I think it's some kind of CV, like some kind of interference is causing throttle oscillation or something by sending a false CV command to the decoders or something. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but things are surging every once in a while. But it's just with the new engine. I'm pretty sure it's the new, I got a new locomotive, put in the decoder yesterday, speed matched barely today, and it's going over like sections of the track where it over revs for a second, or wheels spin or something. It's weird. It sounds like it's over revving. And I'll have to deal with that. Google it, whatever. Anyway, that's the tank train, that's the layout. Thanks everybody. Happy modeling.